What's up guys, AnxiousJ here, coming at you with a new series on my channel. Well, it may or may not be a series, but a new Out of the Park 19 video. Now, what I've went ahead and done is, if you can see right here, it is Friday, November 2nd of 2040. We are very far into the future, 22 years, I think, something like that. And we are going to look at how the major leagues are today. Well, first of all, you can see the Expos are in the major leagues. There are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe a 6th team in the major leagues. There are 6 expansion teams, so if we go ahead and look at, if we just go ahead and look at standings. Perfect. So, as you can see, each division will have 6 teams in it. I know the divisions will definitely expand, and whenever that happens, we'll probably redo the divisions. I'm thinking whenever it gets to 8 per division, I'll go ahead and have divisions of 4, and then have like an AL Northeast, an AL Southeast, an AL Central, and an AL West, something like that. And then, yeah. So, your AL East consists of the Tampa Bay Rays, the Jacksonville Admirals, which we'll go into their history a little bit, the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, and Baltimore Orioles. The Jacksonville Admirals was one of the first teams added onto here, along with the Indianapolis Rush, but we'll get to them soon. Second division is consisted of the AL Central, and it is going to be your normal AL Central people: the Chicago White Sox, the Minnesota Twins, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals, Cleveland Indians, and Tennessee Terrapins. The Tennessee Terrapins actually were the El Paso Terrapins, but coming into the 2036 season, I decided to relocate them because I felt there were too many teams in Texas, and El Paso isn't really in the market for a team because if you think about it, the state of Texas, from Houston to El Paso, so 2 of the bigger cities in Texas, it's still an 8-hour drive. El Paso is in its own entity, and it's really not going to be a Major League Baseball team in the rightest sense. So I felt it better to relocate it to Nashville, Tennessee, where they would definitely be in the market for a team, considering especially that they have, they have the Tennessee Titans. I'm pretty positive it's the Memphis Grizzlies. So, no, they don't have a basketball team. So, I do think it was between them and San Antonio. But I didn't want to have any other Texas teams. I felt they were fine for Texas teams. The awesome thing about it is I didn't have to force this. The league expanded twice by itself, and I only forced 1 expansion just to even everything out. But we'll get to that in a second. The AL West is consisting of the Houston Astros, the Seattle Mariners, the Los Angeles Angels, the Austin Outlaws, the Texas Rangers, and the Oakland Athletics. The Austin Outlaws were originally the Austin Earthquakes, which, being in Austin, they're never going to have an earthquake. So I kind of changed them to a more suiting name because we got Rangers. I felt like it would be cool to have a Rangers and an Outlaw. And then Astros or Astros, whatever. So we'll go with the NL Central because this is the last of the natural expansion franchises. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Milwaukee Brewers, Cincinnati Reds, the Indianapolis Rush, which is the only expansion franchise, and I believe they got their World Series before the Tampa Bay Rays did, actually. They've won a World Series. They're doing pretty well. The Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates. The 2 teams that are really struggling in this save are the Tennessee Terrapins, Like, they've been awful every single year. And the San Diego Padres. Those are the two worst teams. It's pretty funny. But we'll go into this now. We have the Miami Marlins, the Atlanta Braves, the Washington Nationals, New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies, and Montreal Expos. Now, the Indianapolis Rush was originally in the NL East, but I felt they would fit better in the Central Division, first of all, for travel. I felt it stupid that there's Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, that the Indianapolis Rush is farther west than, and to be put in the East is kind of weird. So I just threw a former team in there, and then maybe they can relocate in like 5 years' time whenever another city wants them or something. But I really do think the Montreal Expos coming back as an expansion franchise is kind of overdue. I think it's something that will happen in the not too distant future. And the last one is the NL West. I felt there was a few areas that I wanted to expand to. One of them was Portland and another one was Sacramento. I did feel, however, California has had too many baseball teams. They have San Diego Padres, Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles Angels, and it's just kind of like you already have 4 baseball teams. I mean, they do have a really big population, and I felt Portland would be a good middle ground, because if Northern California fans wanted to cheer for them, they could. But ultimately, Las Vegas is having a lot of changes at the moment, and I was like, you know what? I'll go with Las Vegas. Half of me wanted to pick Las Vegas Aces after the Ryan Waldes series, but I wanted to be slightly more original and have more of a stock team. So I went with the LV. I don't know where that LV is from. A lot of the Montreal Expos, that's an in-game image. The Rush is an in-game image. The Terrapins is an in-game image. The Admirals is an in-game image. But the Outlaws and the Gamblers, I went out and got. I may go and edit this because I don't like the color in the background, and I might just try and figure out a way to make the A stand out by itself. I'll play around and paint. But I'm tired of going over the teams. We are going to go ahead and look at league history. I really want to look at this. This I don't really care about. What I want to care about is last year, the Astros won their 2nd World Series ever. So it's taken them from 2017 to 2040. That sucks. It's taken them a while. But what we're going to look at is Hall of Fame. We're going to look at the Hall of Famers first. So we will look at voting history because that's the easiest way to look at it. So we will look, we're in 2018. So, wait, no, 2018, has that already happened? No, 2018 has not already, well, yes, it has. So, the 2019 inductee, only Mariano Rivera, which I do believe that should be a higher bracket. Whatever. 2020, Derek Jeter, first time ballot. Obviously, he deserves it. 2021, I do agree that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens should get on it. They're 2 of the most dominant players of their time in an era of steroid use. They may or may not be guilty, but look at that. I mean, the numbers for both of these players speak for themselves. Also, Mike Messina making it in as well. Good for him. And Roy Halladay. Good job. I mean, I think Roy Halladay is a second ballot type of guy, especially now that he's passed away. I really do think that he will easily make the Hall of Fame. 2020, Alex Rodriguez with the almost unanimous ballot. You can't say too much about him as the type of guy he is because he was such a dominant baseball player. Todd Helton, I believe, was on a 4th ballot. David Ortiz on a first ballot, so Yankees and Red Sox getting love. Curt Schilling also getting in on his final year. I will actually be surprised if Curt Schilling makes it to the Hall of Fame, especially considering let's see, he's at 38%. He's at 38% here. He drops to 39%, he's not even in here. 39% here. 52. I mean, he's gaining 51, 49. No, he's not. 51, 62. So he just jumps from 62 to 80.4. I guess there is a last contract or a last ballot jump, so to speak. But I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on how Carlos Beltran was not a first-time ballot player, being the greatest playoff hitter of all time, as well as just genuinely being, well, if you look at this one, there's not a lot of votes whatsoever. And then Ichiro, how he's not a first-time ballot guy, or Joe Mauer, or CC Sabathia. I don't understand it, but I do understand Albert Pujols and Clayton Kershaw being first-time ballots. Absolutely. Clayton Kershaw is one of the most dominant pitchers of all time. In his prime, Albert Pujols was one of the best hitters of all time, and still to this day is a fantastic hitter. Then they go another year, and then it's Adrian Beltre on a third-time ballot. No, he's a first-time ballot guy. 3,000 hits, you don't just brush that off. Miguel Cabrera, first-time ballot, absolutely. The only modern-day Triple Crown winner. Still a great hitter. Justin Verlander, my personal favorite pitcher, now especially that he's with the Houston Astros. CC Sabathia makes it in, and Carlos Beltran deservedly make it in. Ichiro finally gets in 2030, and Joe Mauer gets in 2030. Both of them deserve it. Joey Votto on a first-time ballot gets in as well next year. Kenley Jensen, one of the best closers, nasty. Giancarlo Stanton, he's up here, but Robinson Cano makes it in on his 7th ballot. I could see that. Max Scherzer makes it in on his 8th ballot. He's a fantastic pitcher. Nothing else to say there. Really, Craig Kimbrell, first-time ballot guy. I mean, he's dominant. He's one of the names, I feel like, in pitching that you just kind of brush over until you have to face him, because he is a fantastic pitcher. Giancarlo Stanton makes it on the 3rd ballot. I do want to see his total home runs really quick. He only got to 560 home runs. 2017, 2018, 2019 were his best years. And then he kind of just went to... It looks like he never had a full outing after 2021 and was very limited. Oh well. Jose Altuve, how many hits did he get? He never got to 2,000 hits. That is very unfortunate. But he spent his entire time with the Astros. Personally, if I was with the Astros, I would have kept him around until he got his 2,000 hits. I think Jose Altuve in real life will pass the 3,000 threshold. 2035, no one got on. 2036, Mike Trout, first-time Hall of Famer, absolutely. Almost 3,000 hits. 645 home runs. Wow. I was not expecting him to have that many home runs. Good gracious, he's fantastic. Gary Sanchez on a first-time ballot. He has 521 home runs. I think that might be most all-time for catchers. Does he beat... I'm assuming it's Mike Piazza? I don't know. Someone down in the comments let me know who has the most home runs for catchers of all time. Also, Zach Britton getting in. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected him to get in so quickly on a second ballot. But then again, we weren't there to watch the entirety of his career unfold. Noah Syndergaard and Freddie Freeman getting in. Francisco Lindor, Cody Bellinger, Nolan Arenado. Are they all on first-time ballots? They are all on first-time ballots. That is incredible. It also looks like Manny Machado, Chris Bryant will eventually get in. Maybe even an Anthony Rizzo. Maybe a Joey Gallo. But Rafael Devers, wow. Going through this entire save, all I saw was him doing fantastic. So if you can pick this guy up, trade away the kitchen sink to pick this guy up. Over 3,000 hits, 650 home runs. Just wow. Continually at the high end for average. His lowest average was in 2017, but 2018 batted 273, and he didn't bat there again until 2030. And then immediately jumped back up to the crown. Wow. He only batted below 270 one time in his career. So if you're thinking about picking up a guy. Also, Nomar Mazara might have set the home runs record. No. I saw him towards the end of his career always winning or at the top of home runs. Jeez. He's a guy you might want to pick up as well. Anyways, that's it for him. Upcoming eligible players. I do know Bryce Harper will be a first-time ballot guy, just simply because of the guy who he is. Let's go to records. Let's go see what records stand, which ones don't. Because I'm pretty positive, if we look here, Bryce Harper set the all-time strikeouts record. Awesome, my dude. But he set the all-time home runs record. Barry Bonds single season stands, but I know a lot of people who saves it doesn't stand. So he pretty much was a 40 home run guy every single year except for 2 years or a couple years. Towards the end of his career, he was just a 20 home run guy. He killed it. I'm surprised he's retiring as a Pirate, but so you guys see to give him that super long contract because he is worth it. I wanted to stay there. So Bryce Harper is the new all-time home runs leader, which I don't think is too surprising. I hope he can give that production in real life. None of these have changed whatsoever, except for Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is the only person who's made his mark there. Matt Chapman, of course, I think this might actually be accurate, set the all-time strikeouts record for a season, but I believe that's the only modern one there. A single season of pitching, of course, Masahiro Tanaka allowed the most runs or home runs in a season. Wow. And John Carew has the highest winning percentage of any pitcher. So in 2026, he won 13 games, lost 0. He started 32 of those games. Well, he started 32 games and he won 13. That to me just screams bad bullpen. That is awesome. Career strikeouts, Craig Kimbrell. Wow, Craig Kimbrell's on here for opponent's batting average, strikeouts per 9 innings, and hits allowed per 9 innings. That's interesting. Mariano Rivera is still the all-time saves leader. No one's ever going to touch Cy Young's records just simply because it's a completely different game than what it was. Yeah, looks about what would happen. I'm gonna look for teams. We're gonna start to the bottom. Washington Nationals, Washington Senators. Wait, what? Oh, those are inactive. Okay. Washington Nationals have not won their World Series yet. Toronto have won 2. Texas has won a World Series, so they finally win it. Tampa Bay hasn't won theirs. Tennessee Terrapins haven't won theirs. St. Louis has won 16. Seattle hasn't won. San Francisco's won 8. San Diego hasn't won 1. Pittsburgh have won 5. Philadelphia have won 2. Oakland have won 9. New York have won 3. Yankees have won 28. Expos are a brand new franchise. Minnesota 3. Brewers 0. Miami have won 3. Los Angeles Dodgers have won 11. Angels have won 1. Las Vegas Gamblers are new. Admirals have won 0. Rush have won 1. Astros have won 2. The Tigers have won 6. The Rockies 0. Indians 3. Cincinnati Reds 5. Chicago Cubs 4. White Sox 5. Red Sox 8. Orioles 3. Outlaws 0. Braves 4. And Diamondbacks have won 1. So, alright, I found it finally. So, we will be looking and seeing who won every single year from here on out. So, if we look, the Houston Astros and the Dodgers are right here. So, the year after, the Chicago Cubs got over their hangover and they won the 2018 World Series against the Red Sox. The Atlanta Braves have won the next World Series against the New York Yankees. Cleveland Indians have won their long overdue World Series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I won't be surprised if we see the Indians in the World Series this year, even though I hope my Astros go back-to-back. The Houston Astros make it to the World Series in 2022 against the St. Louis Cardinals and lose. Then Los Angeles go back-to-back against Tampa Bay and Los Angeles, respectively. That is a World Series I would love to see. A LA versus LA. That would be so cool. Texas Rangers still have not won their World Series yet. And then they lost to the New York Mets. Like that would ever happen in real life because this game does not account for the New York Mets playing as the New York Mets. Also, they probably actually stayed healthy all this year. I don't know. Just messing around some. So, there doesn't really seem to be any dominance of one team except for the Dodgers and the NL because from about 2021 to 2033, it's all NL teams except for the Rangers. That's crazy. St. Louis Cardinals won in 2028. The Dodgers went back-to-back. My goodness. Miami Marlins. Okay, so if you guys are looking now for my other series, I should win the World Series by 2032. So you'll have a lot to look forward to. I'm just joking. New York Yankees lost to the Indianapolis Rush. Detroit Tigers won against the Nationals. The Nationals, I don't think, have won their World Series yet. I know we just talked about it, but I don't know. The White Sox won back-to-back. The Detroit Tigers then won against the St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals go to the World Series 4 years in a row, winning 2 of them. Tampa Bay still has not won their World Series, and the Houston Astros. Now, I'm going over all of this stuff to give you guys an estimation of who I want to play as. For sure, I want to play as the team. I would love to play as the Astros. If I'm being very honest, I would love to play as the Astros, but I don't think they need help. Because, I mean, just look at this. Joey Jenkins is great. Tim May. I mean, this isn't far off from what they have in real life right now, except for the fact that they don't have a bunch of good shortstops that can play literally any position. But they do probably have the best starting pitching in all of baseball. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 guys that are just amazing. Probably one of the best closers in the game who could be a starting pitcher if necessary. Another guy who could be a starting pitcher. Another guy who could be a starting pitcher. Another starting pitcher. Another starting pitcher. Another starting pitcher. This is just the team of starting pitchers. Anyways, I want you guys to give me who I should play as. It's either going to be the Houston Astros, just because I love the Houston Astros, but I don't feel like that would make for a good series. So what I want to do is I want to play as a team other than the Houston Astros, because I know, who have not won a World Series. Now, if I could just go back to that, I think it was under reports and info, wasn't it? Team statistics? No, it wasn't that. Might have been playoff history, I don't know. Let's look. No. I'm just losing it right now. But it might be, no, it's not record. Wait, it might be records by team. There's a tab here that is postseason. Is it? No. Okay, I see where I need to hit. Teams. Okay. So the teams that you guys can pick from. Oh, goodness. I do not want to play as the Washington Nationals, so no. Let's look. I'll play as the Tennessee Terrapins, Tampa Bay Rays. No. Okay. Actually, I will give you guys 3 teams to choose from, because essentially they're going to give you 3 completely different looks at the teams. First team, Montreal Expos. Just simply they're a classic team in the expansion draft. I feel like it would be really cool. As much as I would love to play as the Las Vegas Gamblers, I do not think that would be a good idea. I'd rather play as Montreal Expos. So that's team number 1. Team number 2, we need to find the teams that have the longest years and who do not have a championship. So the Washington Nationals, San Diego Padres, Milwaukee Brewers. Out of all of these teams, I think I would actually, because the Milwaukee Brewers have been to the least, I'll say Milwaukee Brewers, number 2. And then we'll look at the most recent teams. Sure, okay. So it'll actually be the Tampa Bay Rays. So those are be your 3 teams. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Montreal Expos, and the Milwaukee Brewers. Let me know your decisions down in the comments down below. I probably will have a straw poll link in the description as well. So go ahead and do that. And I might even have it pop up in the iCard in the corner if I can figure out how to do that. So I'll do that straight off the bat, actually, in the very beginning of the video. I'll have a little disclaimer in the iCard in the corner, and then I'll try and do it again now. But that's enough explaining what I need to do. If I do play as the Expos, there will be an expansion draft. If I play as the Brewers, It'll just be try and get them. It's World Series or bust every single year. And if I play as, what was the third team? Tampa Bay, same difference. It'll be World Series or bust every single year. So let me know your comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.